Alright guys, I told you that I was going to give you a fuel economy test on Bertha because you guys, a bunch of guys asked what kind of fuel mileage do I get. So, for the most part, I've been driving, locking the converter, putting the truck in neutral at red lights, this and that. Anything I can do to save fuel. And I've already noticed that I've been getting way better fuel mileage than I normally would have if I just put the truck in drive and drive it, because you get less fuel economy by letting the torque converter slip. It is what it is. They sacrifice power and fuel economy for comfort and less noise. So, we got 417.2 miles. Keep in mind, I did do a 32-mile tow with, let's say, about 10,000 pounds, and then we towed an empty trailer back. So 417 miles. We're gonna see what we get on the fuel economy. Fuel has come down a lot, so I'll be driving Bertha again. But we are about to click, and I will give you the math on that, and then we're gonna get back to the shop tonight. Fuel has come way down because I also have like $22 in credits, but if you guys notice, like this fill up wasn't even like 80 or 90 bucks is what this is gonna cost me. All right, so you do 417.2 divided by 28.952, and we got just about 14 and a half miles a gallon. It was like 14.42. Not the greatest thing in the world, but we also did do a tow. Now we'll see what the fuel economy without towing. All right, boys, it is 11 o'clock at night. Lately I've just not been able to sleep. Like, I've been excited to get these projects off my hands. So tonight, this is how I'm gonna lay this out, right? So first things first, I wanna get the cross member made. We're probably gonna go like right over top of this one. Probably just shoot across. I gotta get a measurement for that. I'd like to get Bertha's roll pan installed tonight. Right here, we have this. Not gonna paint it yet, but I wanna at least get it installed and get everything mocked up, so that way when we do go get the new bed, everything's there. And then I need to order the Big Hitch Products piece. And I would also like to get Bertha's mirrors wired in. So the only thing, you guys remember these things here? These are supposed to be switchbacks, and I never hooked up the switchback wire. So I would like to get that hooked up as well tonight. So Josh should be coming out in a little bit, maybe like an hour or so. I'm gonna be out here probably until about 4 in the morning. Plenty of steel to mess with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this cut out, we're gonna get it installed, and then I'm gonna pull this out, weld all around it, and then might go through and check some of these welds, probably grind down anything on the top to make this whole thing flush. And then once all that's done, I'm gonna have him help me. We're gonna pull the welder out, and we're gonna pull the whole skid piece out, and I'm gonna center this up, which I notched it correctly so I can do that, and then pull the whole big thing out. We're gonna weld it out on the ground, do the bottom, do the top, and then the whole thing is ready to just drop back in. So sounds a lot easier said than done. This is gonna be a lot of work. This is gonna be a lot of hours, but need to get the welder out, need to get that out, and need to get this out. So, and then that way I can center this up, get this squared, and then we'll start drilling our holes down through and figuring out where we wanna put the mounts, because unfortunately this truck does not have the things here, so I have to physically bolt this down to the bed. So we got 3 holes up there, which unfortunately this is gonna smidge in that way, so I'm gonna have to re-drill those holes. Not really a big deal, but at the same time, this will be whole one skid. So let's just get to work. I'm gonna turn some music on, get the heater going. I'm dressed, I'm bundled, like it's, I think 25 degrees here in the shop, and I really don't feel it at all. I just got back from the gym workout and all that. So I'm, pretty sweating. I'm gonna turn this probably on, I don't know, this says -1 Celsius. So I'll probably just turn it on like 40 and just let the thing go. And then that's about it. All right, while y'all are out there hating, I'm in here doing it. Look at that nice, pretty fucking, God, the damn camera makes it look worse than what it is. Some of them are pretty good, like, they ain't perfect. We put the shit welds on the bottom like that one, but we're getting there. And I know what's the bottom and what's the top because there's a notch. Actually, this is the bottom. So these are the notches that will sit on there. So what I'm gonna have to do, now we gotta get the welder out, because this Let me get this out of the way. This is where we're at. This is the whole big frame piece that I built out. I think I did a pretty good job. Like I said, we'll grind all of these flush. Ah, there goes my finger. Well, we'll grind all that flush on the top after we get this bad Larry out. So I got to take all the bolts out and go from there. I also need to find a bolt for my positive wire, because when I got it, it came like that. So there you go. Figure that out eventually. So this is what I didn't want to do during the day, but it is what it is. We got the leads out, throwing them on the ground. We got the lift back in there. So we're gonna try, I'm gonna have to get this up high enough to snake this out. So I need a second person to get these bolts out, because they're not gonna come out by themselves unless I, you know, welded them, but I don't feel like taking the batteries off and changing all my settings. So I'm gonna wait till Josh gets here. We're gonna get these bolts out, and then we'll start welding that up. I'm gonna pull this out, weld it on the ground, and we're gonna take the bolts out of, see, the bolts for the aux tank I can reach, because like, it's like right in there somewhere. Yeah, right there. So those I can reach. So I'll just loosen them up and then slide this over a smidge so that this whole thing's centered, which it'll center itself up. Once we get, you know, this piece put in, it'll be centered, because I'll know what the gap is from there to there, and then we'll just square it up there so I know what the center is. And then all we got to do is just make the adjustment with the aux tank. Looking at it, you can see that I could probably fit 3 fingers in here, and I could fit 2 fingers, 2.5 fingers in here. So, but I'll wait on him. In the meantime, it's getting nice and toasty in here with this thing. So I actually had to turn it down because I'm kind of sweating. I put it at -1 degree Celsius, so I don't know, whatever that comes out to. But, and that's only in this spot. So, I mean, I'm sweating in everything that I got, you know, sweatshirt and multiple layers. All right, well, Josh isn't here yet. It is, let's see, it is 11:54. He said he's leaving a little bit ago. So I got them all out. You just put a pair of ice grips over top of them. I didn't want to wait. So now I got to jack that up high enough that I can like snake the thing up and through. So wish me luck. Hope I don't die from this engine crane doing engine crane things, because it's not supposed to be in this position, and it's literally just being held up by that and back here. So I'm gonna get this bitch jacked up all the way. And I'll get back with you guys. All right, so I got it out. I know I say all right so a lot, but I got it out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna square this up, and wherever it lands, which this is gonna be the hard part, because now I actually have to take the welder out in order to plop this back in. And I'm also gonna have to unbolt the fuel tank. So I am gonna need Josh's help with that. So I'll probably drop that down on the fuel tank and do some finagling. But in the meantime, I wanna get this finished welded. And then once it's centered, we're gonna try to center it to that and do our little measurings. It looks like it's damn near close. Needs to go that way a smidge. So I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna start throwing some tack welds, and then we're gonna finish weld it. Yeah, it was worth taking tonight off of sleeping. Here's my pretty bottom weld, nothing crazy. And there's my other pretty bottom weld. So now in theory, I should be able to clean this hell mess up, and this thing should be ready to go in, aside from paint. But you know, who paints this stuff, you know? All these welders out here building these welding beds, and they just let them rust. I should paint it, but it's also cold in here. And here, you can see my breath. I'm actually sweating. I'm sweating, but I am, oh yeah, careful, there's a pair of safety glasses around here that blend in with the floor. So,
I'll make sure to not.
I'm gonna flip this over, clean up some of the top welds, And we got to get that out of there somehow.
I'll push it over.
No, we're not. All right, here's where we're at. We got everything out. Bertha is normal again. Also, Josh did a one of these, and yeah, that was pretty bad. But welder's out. That was a bitch. Used his help for that, and now we're gonna loosen the bolts on that, and then put this up in, do some test fits and everything. She's not gonna get painted until we know everything's, you know, done and nice, but I want to get some test fits in and get those bolts loose. So I got to figure out what size those are, and yeah, I think they're 15s, but we'll be all right. I might end up using the back bolts there, but let's get it. All right, she's all in. Got everything set out. We have her nice and squared up over there. So might have got the holes a little oblong over there, but she's all right. So next step, also it really stiffened up the bed. You can feel that. It's like not 100% because we still have to, I'll probably have to throw a weld down there, but again, I don't feel like disconnecting the batteries to do that. And we have one wrench in there. So other than that, this thing is all ready to go in, and then that's pretty much it. This thing's done for now, and then we will slowly add to things. I was thinking about having like a little slide box right here that I can put a couple of tools in, but let's get this fucker in. All right, it is 2:22. This is about where we're at, so I'm gonna throw another strap on that, bring that down, and then we can pick this up and set it right where we need it. And we also got to tighten this bolt because I didn't tighten it enough.
It's alright, you're learning.
Yeah, good stuff. Look at them pretty freaking welds down there. Yeah, I'm gonna talk shit. Better welds than anybody who didn't weld today. All right, here she is, all said and done. Oh goodness, I gotta get my ass up here. So we got 2 bolts and 2 bolts. Not the best positioning for the bolts. That one's fine, but this one over here, I tried to keep, you know, the 3.5 mark in on both sides, and it kind of hits a little bit of a cross member under. They're just a plastic tab, but besides that, everything else, all these bolts lined up. This guy's centered now, so like if I put 3 fingers here, and I put 3 fingers here, you know, it's all even. We got everything set up. This guy's all set up. I wired in this. Keep it as clean as possible. You can see. So we got that. We got our Anderson clamps over here in this toolbox that I don't know if I'll make up. And then over here we got our leads. So if we ever use them, great. But next step is, like I said, I think we're gonna put potentially a little, like a slidey, but like something like that. Here, let's see if the camera will zoom in. Like something like that, that'll just like sit in this spot. And then I'd like to close this in at some point and start making a box here. Something practical, because like this could be a hell of a box right here and just open it up. What the hell? The camera just freaked out. But for those of you who thought I wasn't gonna do it, I was actually with you guys. I didn't think I was gonna end up doing this either. Looks pretty good. And worst case scenario, we go through and, you know, maybe down the road we fix some of the booger welds. The top welds are great, but still figuring out that downhill. All right, so I got really lucky and all the bolts came right out. So you can see that. Ooh, yeah. So you can see that it all good. I'm gonna go get the jack, charge my phone. We're at 13%. It's almost, it is 3 in the morning. It's 3:03. So I got the Rollpan all set up. Yes, I'm just gonna throw it on primered because this thing's gonna get painted. It's gonna go on a black one eventually. So we got 2 license lights facing up and 1 facing down. All right, so this is generally a simple job. Not that hard, a couple of bolts. They all came out, but when I made this harness right here, if you guys see that, this harness that goes up to those plugs, I wrapped it around and made it all nice. So I had to take this bolt out and these 4 bolts and then pry so I could slide it through and get the harness out. So now we have a perfect bumper. I just need to get my 7-way. I already started getting bites on it, but we'll see if someone comes and buys it. that posted it up for like 400 bucks. That hitch that I'm getting is like 500 bucks and shipping and whatnot. So we'll get all the frame stuff cleaned out, drop this back down, and start working on getting the let's just, yes, nice. Come on, drop. There we go. So I'm gonna get that on order eventually. Damn, guys, I don't know why you didn't tell me to do this sooner. That looks really good. And I haven't even gotten like the lights wired in yet. But I'm thinking about taking the 7-way connector and just plopping that bitch like right here. Just because I know it would bother people. Just put it right here. It would bother somebody.
Damn, I can't believe it's 4 in the morning.
Also, ever since we did that, look, the bed doesn't shake anymore. Sturdy. All right, well, all I gotta do yet is wire in the lights, and you know me, I'm not gonna do a half-ass job on wiring. So, all right, I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like behind. So you got the nice, neat wiring here, and then we got this guy just tucked up over way. Like I said, don't know if I'm gonna put it in the roll pan yet. Don't really care either way. But let's get these lights on. And then this is the last thing. I was gonna do the mirrors, I didn't get time. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning now. But there you go. I'm actually kind of disappointed with the LEDs. I was hoping that they'd be brighter, but oh well, she looks good. Now we just need a hitch. Someone buy this thing. This is in perfect condition too. So I didn't want to give y'all like that as the end of the video as kind of like a teaser, but that's what she looks like with the roll pan, which I like it. I gotta clean the sides off. And you can actually see the axle dump now. And then in the daylight, here's this truck frame. She looks pretty good. I didn't clean up the welds at the top yet. Thinking we're gonna probably put like a box on here that I can have like things come out of that's removable. So maybe make some tabs here and put something there. And then back there, this will be a lid for like an access hole. Not sure how thick I want to make it, because I'm kind of wondering, like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this on the next truck. Not sure yet, but it is framed out in case I do want to do that. But I think everything's looking good. We got all the wiring, everything down in there nice and neat. We got everything organized. So that's how happy I am with that. We're gonna continue building this thing out. I can still use my gooseneck. It's low profile, nothing, you know, crazy. The roll pan itself wasn't the greatest thing in the world. You know, it's definitely not perfect, as you can see. Like, this side's decent, but just a cheap roll pan. Nothing crazy. But, and I was disappointed with the LEDs. I wanted something super bright, but alright. But I'm gonna close the video out here. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys want me to add more to it. I don't think I'm gonna put a box on this side. I'm gonna do it on that side because of these. So there you go. And the welder runs, everything works.